Alright guys, I've been playing with this Thermalright 360 AO for a little bit. It's kind of really getting into me because of the water pump noise and the bubbly noise. I've pretty much tried every single position for this thing to like maybe air out, get the bubbles out of the pump, try to get like the pump speed to speed up and slow down and try to get the air out, but I again seems to be, you know, getting this thing out the bubble stuff. What do you guys experience from these Thermalright AIOs? I do have a couple 240 AIOs and they seem to be working better than this 360. Just because this pump is making so much noise. So if you look at my screen here, like it's at 65%. It's just making so much bubble noise and pump noise out of it. If I put it at 100%, which the pitch change, but just still creating more bubble. Like it's not making it better, but it's not worse, I suppose. Now you just hear less bubbly noise, more pump noise. So we're gonna switch it back to 80%. Now the CPU core temperature really stays about the same in this so-called idle condition. See, the bubbly sound is coming back. It's come and goes, come and goes. I know when I do custom water cooling, this will keep going for a while until it basically do couple, 100% cycle and low cycle, 100% cycle, low cycle, and it will actually get the bubble air. But I've been doing this for a while now. I can't seem to get any of this bubble out of from the pump area. And it's driving me nuts. And if you look at the temperature, it just went up by 1 degree by lowering the pump speed. It's really annoying. I know about 20% this pump is really quiet, but in reality it's yeah, it's not really liking being at about 30%. Yeah, okay, I know. Okay, 30% is dead quiet. If you look at the RPM, so at 30% is about 1500 RPM. What's that 100%? I think for most people, it just kind of makes sense to just set the pump RPM to like a fixed speed. To be honest, you don't need to have crazy water flow to cool your CPU, as long as there's some water flow. And this thing can ramp up to about 3400 RPM, 3500 RPM. I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, let's leave it at 30. It's really annoying, to be honest, the bubbly sound. Sometimes it just sounds worse than the fan noise. So what I'm gonna end up doing, I'm gonna do 2 tests here, just for you guys, awareness. I'm gonna set this at 100%. I'm gonna reboot into the computer, and I'm gonna do a Cinebench test for like about 10 minutes, and I'm gonna split up the footage. Don't worry, you guys are not gonna waste time watching me doing this, but yeah, so we're gonna go from there, and we're gonna do a 100% comparison and a 30% comparison and see which one, how much difference does it make. Okay guys, this thing is about to finish up. The reason I keep running these time lapse or just keep recording the videos is just so I can, look up on some of these datas later on if I needed to, so I can compare some results here. But anyways, so from this 100% pump test, as you can see from the temperature, the peak value of 72 degrees. Mind you, this particular setup, I'm not using the Thermalright stock fans. I'm using the Arctic P12s, and they're just using the CPU default fan curve, which is running pretty quiet. What's really annoying is the pump speed, right? So we're gonna just not change anything other than just the pump speed and see the actual temperature difference. And looking at this, I have a negative 45 what do you call it, the curve optimization, and it's running cooler than it should be by default compared to the normal 9800 X3D chips. And yeah, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, 72 degrees at the peak temperature. It's not too bad, it's still like 20 degrees lower and it's up like thermal throttle limits. So yeah, so I'm gonna actually restart this computer and I'm gonna change the pump speed into probably 25% or 30%, depends on the noise level. And we're gonna split up this part for you guys, and we're gonna go into BIOS. Okay, we're in BIOS. Actually, I lied a little bit. I forgot I actually tuned the fan curve a little bit. So as you can see, we're running at these numbers. I think these are not. Yeah, I think I accidentally changed the pump speed numbers compared to the CPU. So we're still gonna leave as it is. It's doing quite good a job using these fan speed, and we're gonna go and lower to 25%. Okay, get that warning. You can hear the pump ramping down. You can hear the bubbly noise kind of going away. And now it's decently quiet. You guys can actually hear me talk now, eh? So CPU fan. This is some stupid curve that I made. I think I'll probably change this after the test. But let's go for the pump. It's sitting at 25%, and we're gonna speed up for you guys. Alright, so just before we start off the test, I'm gonna let you guys hear the pump noise. Super quiet. It idles a little bit higher, like 2 degrees higher than before, I think. Let's see if we run this test, we're gonna run into any sort of thermal issues. And we're definitely gonna speed up this part for you guys. Alrighty, we're almost finished this test. Looking at some results, so in average we're about 5 degrees higher than the previous run, but we're losing about 75% of the pump speed. So I think that's a good trade-off. But there's one thing you guys have to know, that I did play with the fan curve, so the fans are running over 30% on the actual radiator. So I think I only want to do the pump test today, but by looking at this, I think I really need to go in and adjust the fan speed to show you guys, does it matter if the pump speed are low and you just speed up the fans a little bit, just because of the fans are making less noise compared to the pump. So I'm gonna go into BIOS, and we're gonna actually look at changing some of the fan curves, and then we'll be right back. Alrighty, so we're in this fan curve here, and as you notice, the actual fan speed where we're testing at is a little bit higher than 25%. Just because it sits between 70 and 90 degrees, so it's probably pushing about 50% fan speed. What we're gonna do is we're gonna say 20 over here. I'm gonna double that number over here, and then we're gonna add another. Sorry. We're gonna do a 20%, 40%, and 60% on the fan curves. So let's see how that will cool down the CPU compared to the pump. So the pump right now is still sitting at 25%. Let's increase our fan speed a little bit. I don't really want to use the static fan speed, just because of, I don't think most people should do, unless they do like a full water cooling build where they absolutely want the quietest operation. So I'm just gonna go for that, and then I think this is gonna be the last test we're gonna do on this, and then we're gonna conclude this video. So I'm gonna speed up the footage for you guys again once we get to Windows. Alright, so one last test. I did speed up the fan a little bit. So the idle temperature did drop by like maybe 2 degrees ish. Let's see if we run the 10-minute throttle test and where the temperature sits at. So let's give it an initial impression about this. So I remember initially when we have the really low fan curve speed and also the really low pump speed, the temperature shoot up right up to about 75-ish degrees. So if you look at this right now, I'm not sure if the camera can capture the fan speed a little bit, but I do hear it to be a little bit louder, but not that much louder compared to before. And it's sitting about 72 degrees. So it's about 3 degrees lower than the previous test with let's say a significant bump of the fan speed. So I think for most people, if they really want to tune this, they can go, adjust their fan curve just a little bit lower compared to mine, and just find a very good balance between, the actual temperature versus the fan speed. I think the pump speed really says it for itself. Is the fact that it's so loud at over 30% pump speed, and I don't think it's necessary running at at a high RPM. Especially, you could do a little bit of trade-off with your fan speed over here. So we're gonna let it run. It's gonna speed up the footage, and then we're gonna come to a conclusion once it stops. Alright guys, the test has completed, and look at the temperature. We're sitting at pretty comfortable of 75 degrees at the very peak, and honestly I think it's a good trade-off by lowering the pump speed and increase the fan speed by a little bit. And yeah, and if you were set up your new PC and try to figure out why your pump or your fan are doing crazy noises, maybe you should manually adjust your fan speed and pump speed. In this case, I would just recommend to lower your pump speed and just increase your fan speed by maybe 50% ish more. And yeah. And anyways, we're gonna keep doing some cooler videos in the future, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you really like the video, please consider subscribing for the channel for my next video, and we will see you next time.